And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It would be June 1, 2026. And as always, serious talk on everything that affects you, with a little comedy injected every now and then, and a little bit of even more serious injected every now and then. We'll talk markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the war, lies, cheats, steals, and all that crap, corruption, scams and shams, and all that crap. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you go there, put our name in, it shows up. If you'd like to email me, just be nice, respectful. We'll be respectful back unless you like Hamas or Hezbollah or terrorists or what's his name, Luigi, who shot and murdered somebody in the back, where women are sending him letters wanting to marry him. Yeah, I want to marry a guy who is such a cowardly piece of crap wimp that he walked behind a person and shot him in the back, even though he never met him and knows nothing about him and has a wife and 2 kids. Ass clown. Hope he never sees the light of frickin' day. And that includes, by the way, who was the 2 twins that killed the mother and father many years ago in Beverly Hills? I forgot their names already. Darn, I gotta get their names. Menendez, thank you. Just so you know, in case you don't know, because there's been this move afoot to free them, let them out. A bunch of celebrities, let them out. See, these celebrities are morons, because I remember very well. Do you know after they murdered them, they said it was the mob, number one, and number two, for weeks, they went out and spent all kinds of money. They were joyous. They were happy. And then all of a sudden, oh, my daddy beat me up. My daddy abused me. They made up a story that they were abused by by the father after they were out partying with all the money they inherited, because the mob did it. And the celebrities back them. Unbelievable. There's some goofs out there. Murder's okay. Anyway, we move on. I guess I should start with software. Last week, on Thursday, we had told you we thought software was making the turn. And what we mean by that is, it was in a bear market. It had come off the lows. It made one stair step up in price and then sat around for a while, edged a little bit. But what ended up happening on Thursday was Oracle, big name, broke above resistance. Microsoft was just about to. We had already had big moves in some of the software security stocks. So on Thursday, and since then, software ETF. This is the ETF that has a bunch of stocks in it. Up 12% in 2 freaking days. But that's nothing. Because if the ETF is up 12%, names are going to be up more. And some of the moves, I have to tell you, I'm humbled. I'm amazed. I'm stunned. Absolutely stunned. Oracle, after breaking above that big 200 line, it was resistance. It's 248 2 days later. Up another 22 today. Microsoft moved above that line about 433. It's 459 already. Weeks, Salesforce.com. Let me just state for the record, from Thursday's close has gone from 176 to 209. These are not small companies. That's about 18%. SAP, the big German one, which was dead money, from Thursday's close, 175 to 195. What is that, about 12%? Adobe has been the bear market forever. The close Thursday, was 241, 274. And then I don't even know how to describe CrowdStrike. From the close, how about 671 to 782 in 2 days? And by the way, that started moving a couple of weeks ago. So on Friday, we just pounded away software. And I have to tell you, I came in today loaded for bear to buy the crap out of some names. And they just jumped the living crap out of them early. One of the ones I was isolating on was Twilio. The reason why it gapped up about 4 weeks ago, went up to 204, dropped back to about 180 something, and what did it do on Thursday? It closed at almost 185. Friday it closed at 190. I'm rounding off, 191. Rounding off. And I'm ready for it. By 10 o'clock today, it's 205, up 14. I'm thinking I'm going to hang out, wait, let it pull back. It closed at 227 today. And by the way, that's off the highs. In my record book tonight will be so many words aimed at myself with the letter that comes after E. I have on my wall here a sign, seeing things no one else sees. That's the sign. We believe we see things nobody else sees, and if they do, not sure what to do with it. And of course, there are others that are better than us that do what we do. But it's no use if you don't put it into play. And this morning, it was just so fast and sudden. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to let these suckers pull back. And they just kept jamming and jamming them. And I'm thinking to myself, I should have known better, because that's what they did with the artificial intelligence stocks. They kept jamming them, never pulled them back, and that's what happened today with the Twilio. And not just that, there's others. We tell you success, we tell you failure, we never lose big. But man, when we are onto something, by the way, we jumped on this thing Thursday. That day, we told you that, and added some Friday, but not nearly enough. Which takes me to the other part of the point. Stanley Druckenmiller, that used to work for Soros, on my wall is this. I've learned many things from him, Soros, but perhaps the most significant is that it's not whether you're right or wrong that's important, but how much money you make when you're right, how much you lose when you're wrong. The few times that Soros has ever criticized me was when I was really right on a market and didn't maximize the opportunity. Soros has taught me that when you have tremendous conviction on a trade, you have to go for the jugular. It takes courage to be a pig. It takes courage to write a profit with huge leverage. As far as Soros is concerned, when you're right on something, you can't own enough. I think I'm going to read that 10 times today. On Thursday, we came out and said to you, software, turning of the corner. We talked about the roadmap, how certain things must happen to go from a bearish phase into a bullish phase, and it happened. And of course, the next line is, you never know if it's going to work, because crypto did it, did a stair step up and then rolled over. You never know. But you got to put your cards down And I must tell you, when you see the ETF make the move, that's a bunch of stocks. When you see a bunch of stocks make the move, there you have it. And the same thing goes with semiconductors. That happened on April 8th. The first thing to break out was the stocks on April 8th. And we've been taught the first thing that breaks out is usually the strongest. And the semiconductor index has been freaking insane since. How's that for an open? Up next, this, that, and the other thing, and whatever else. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So do you remember I told you on Friday that the three software names, and IBM is part of that, Salesforce.com, IBM, and Microsoft went up like 450 Dow points? Well, they went up 338 Dow points today. The Dow only finished up 46, so other things were weak. But you had Goldman Sachs up 27 today. That's about 160 Dow points. And Nvidia announced that they're going to do chips with PCs. So guess what? Some other stock, ARM Holdings went along for the ride. Taiwan Semi went along for the ride. They build them. So Nvidia bounced up $13 today. And that was after diving $5 or $6 at the close on Friday, by the way, for the rebalancing. Remember on Friday, I don't remember what the word was. It was the rebalancing of this, that, or the other thing. And that's why things went all over the map on Friday. So anyway, just a big freaking wow. IBM, I'm not making this up. So it's software. We consider it software, though there's hardware. On Thursday, it closed at 264. It closed at 320 today. That's 56 bucks in 2 days, which is about 380 Dow points. But that's not the story, because 4 days before that, it was at let's call it 220. It's gone from 220 to 320. $100 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trading days. And that first big move was they announced some sort of quantum stuff. Not earnings and sales are going to go up, but some quantum stuff. And I'm not trying to piss all over the news. I'm just amazed because IBM was in a bear market. It went from the basement to the penthouse. The outhouse to the penthouse in 7 days. I will tell you, I think it's up 80 billion of the 280 billion in market cap in those 7 days. And they didn't say earnings are going to be better, sales are going to be better. They made an announcement on quantum. And now this, and I'm going to have to look up why was IBM gapped up $25 today. It gapped up. And pretty much stayed there, backed and filled a little bit, but what can I tell you? Dell was up another $45, Micron 62, SanDisk 66, Seagate 38, and then software. The weakest software stocks had big days. The weakest. HubSpot broke above the 50-day, was up 18%. How about this MDB, up 20%? These are not small names. Intuit has been destroyed. Stock was up only about 6%. We'll take it, though. I don't need to go through the rest. You got the point. I want to go back to Dell. That had the big gap up on Friday and did not hesitate today. If that was not so extended, I would have bought that Friday. It was up 10% today. And it was extended before today. CrowdStrike up 51, Datadog up 31, Twilio up 36, Palo Alto up 17. I should give you percentages, right? 7% on CrowdStrike. Cadence Design had some news. That was up 10%. How about, if I find it, DigitalOcean up 11%. That broke above the little range today. Datadog was up 10. How about 12%? Palo Alto, about 6%. Twilio, we'll call that about, actually I can just go look, 19%. And I sat there with the thumb up, well, I can't say. Hey, look who just showed up, Winston. Anyway, wow. Software that went out of the bear market. We isolated for you on Thursday. Some of the things were already off the lows, but you need to have that next stair step. And all you have to do is you draw a line from 11 p.m. down to 5. And then flatten out, then turn up from, let's call it, little bit from 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and then make a right turn and build a stair step and then break above it. That's what we got. That make any sense? If you got our webcast, you know what we were talking about. And that was the story today. That was the simple story. The institutions jumping all over the freaking software stocks. And as I said, seeing things no one else sees. We'll change that to seeing things most people don't see. But I just have no one else sees on my wall. How long it lasts, how far it goes, I don't have a clue. All I can tell you, 2 unbelievable days of software movement coming out of the bear market. Simple as that. What else? Well, space stocks had another rough day. As you know, the Blue Origin, did you see that? Just so you know, I see every liftoff from my house and my office. If I walk outside, make a right turn, I see every liftoff. I wasn't around for that. I gather I would have seen something. But since then, the space stocks have been getting a hit. Rocket Labs today was down $21, 15%. It's dropped 20% from the highs in 3 days. Symbol ASTS has gone from 133 to 105 in 3 days. And I'm pretty sure that they have something more to do with Blue Origin. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And others got smacked around, seeing 8, 9, 10% drops. Yeah, there's one that's about 15%. I'm agnostic right here. I don't know. But that was the story on the space stocks today. Crypto, crappy again. No bid. Not a freaking bid. Ethereum worse than Bitcoin. Ethereum is, well, the low of the year was 1471. It's 1621, but it's completely rolled over. And Bitcoin, by the way, we're doing the ETFs, just went from 46.5 to 40.5 in the last 2.5 weeks and broke the 50-day badly. And blah. Up next, what else? Oh, we'll be whining about DC in a second. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Okay, what else? Gold and silver, bad day. We'll just repeat, avoid for new commitments. We're not telling you to buy, sell, short, or cover. They just had huge runs and they're going through whatever process they're going through. Simple as that. If the GLD breaks 400, we'll be talking something of more consequence. If the SLV breaks first 64 and then 60, of more consequence, but our theme that the top in January was climactic and that it's going to take a while to get going again, that came to fruition. What else? Interesting. Berkshire Hathaway, which is no longer Warren Buffett, is buying out Taylor Morrison Homes. Stock was up 22% today. Let me see what they're buying them for. Should take me about 1 second, maybe 3 seconds. They are buying them for $8.5 billion. I'm going to guess that's cash. And let's see. I don't have I don't have the shares outstanding, so I can't tell you. My charts used to have shares outstanding. They don't have that now. They changed the charts to say that they improved them, and then they take away something that's important. Anyway, so the Taylor Morrison was up 22%. The other housing stocks opened hot and pretty much did nothing. Remember, housing stocks are in a bearish phase. Simple as that. I'm looking at Taylor Morrison, valued $8.5 billion. $72.50 a share is $8.5 billion, and it closed at $71.55. That's about right. So we're not fans of housing, though. That would have been nice. Retail. I'm just letting you know, retail stocks continue to stink. You have a couple of outliers and a couple of good reactions. Ross Stores had a good reaction. On the day of the good reaction, it closed at $235. It's $224. I believe Ralph Lauren had a good reaction. It's done nothing but go down since. But those are two strong ones. But after that, just bear markets of different levels. Some down big, some down very big, some okay. Just think it's a big avoid retail. And I keep being told the economy's good, consumers good. All I can tell you, retail stocks stink. Oil prices were up today. I'll explain in a minute when I whine and complain about DC. So they pulled in the airlines a little bit, but not bad. They pulled in Royal Caribbean was up, and hotels weren't bad. The consumer staples act like crap. The restaurants, terrible action in the restaurants. A lot of economically sensitive, terrible. The three best banks we told you about, Bank of New York, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley had a good day. The other banks not so good, though Citigroup held the 50-day today. Other financials ain't happening. And don't dare look at MasterCard, Visa, and Capital One. Just terrible. Catching the drift? Defense stocks, what have we been telling you? Avoid. They're in their own little private bearish phase now of unknown price and time. They had another rough day today. Northrop Grumman down $22. Lockheed Martin down 10. Avoid. Pharmaceuticals. Avoid. Eli Lilly, accept. That had a big move up. They've had news and news and news on all the, the weight loss drugs. Try to break out 2 days ago, hit a high of 1140. It's already 1080. Just overall, pharmaceuticals weak. Big biotech, very weak. Don't you dare go look at Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. Hospitals, really weak. The medicals, now we had some good reaction to earnings, but a ton of them just bearish phases. Insurance. There's some few strong names, and when we say strong, I mean they're not really rolling, but they're on the stronger side. And then some that are in bear markets. Now we had another potential buyout, MGM. Barry Diller, go look him up. He owns that IAC Interactive. Looks like he's trying to buy them or wants to buy them. That was up 16% today. And we just gave you a bunch of areas of the market. You know what they killed today? CBOE. Down $33 today, or 10%. The stock broke out beautifully recently. Other exchanges hit pretty hard. CME Group was down 16 today. And I don't know what the news is. I know there's some stuff about extended trading. I don't know if somebody usurped them. I don't know. I'll find out later. I don't see anything right now. But notice, we're able to show you. And then there's the Constellation Energy. These AI, supposedly the alternative energy for AI. Constellation Energy down $22 today to $265. The others got hit too. And I'd like to say semis, I got a few that have broken down, but most all look fine. And then you have a couple that are just gargantuan movers. But just letting you know, there is a very narrow market, and on a daily basis, it becomes more and more of a technology market. More and more. Market depending on technology. As I said, a few banks in shape, a few, but the regionals aren't. So just letting you know. And when we see something like software, we'll yell at you. And then we'll yell at ourselves, why don't we go you-know-what to the wall on Thursday with it? Why? Because you don't know it'd be up 12, 13% in 2 days. But man, that's all I can tell you. Man, oh man. What else? The president named Donald Trump. So as we tell you, we have no bias. We have no love for anybody. Nothing personal. We call balls and strikes. That's it. And we don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat. People say you got to pick sides. No, we think the opposite. You need to have strict principles of what the leaders of this country should be like. Do you know why? Because they're the leaders of the country and they're deciding on our future. And if they're corrupt and self-dealing, you think they're really giving a crap? So we want you to know a couple of things. The president was forced into dropping that moronic, corrupt, self-dealing $1,776,000,000 to emphasize 1776 of a, I don't even know what the hell you call that, but it's called self-dealing corruption. He was forced to drop it. You know how they announce it? Oh, they were forced to drop it. But it's all him. Don't ever believe when he says he knew nothing about it. Remember the Kennedy Center, when they put his name on? He said, oh, I had no idea that was going to happen. I want to thank the board. He put the board on. Anyway, that's the good news. A court came down on it, against it, but that doesn't matter. This is the executive order president, but they backed away. They dropped it. Others called it a slush fund. I don't care what you call it. It was the most moronic, stupid thing I have seen in a very long time from anybody. So good on that. And what I'm hearing is that behind closed doors, the Republicans were just killing them. Up next, what else? Of import. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun. Wednesday, baby. You know what Wednesday is, right? First game of the NBA. So let me give you a real quick synopsis. As you know, I'm the sickest psychotic Knicks fan. But you know why I think the Knicks are winning it. Let me give you a very important synopsis. The 7'10" guy for San Antonio, who is the shape of things to come going forward. I mean, wow, is this guy great. This guy hits three-pointers, great defender. Here's the problem. You have two people that he's going to cover. He's great defense inside and it plugs up the holes. But you have Towns and Obi in that can hit 3-pointers at any time. He's going to have to come out and defend. So he's going to get the Knicks are going to take him away from the middle. And if they are hitting threes, forget about it. Forget about it. I think the Knicks win. I think they got the momentum. I think they're playing magnificent ball. And I think that San Antonio is going to have to be on their game. Now, one thing San Antonio's got going for them, 4 games in San Antonio, 3 in New York. It'll be incumbent upon New York to take one of those first 2. But watch what I say. I'm pretty good at this, by the way, that he is going to be forced to come out and guard at the 3-point line. It's going to open a bunch of things up, namely a guy named Brunson. Remember that. Back on the Prez, and this matters to the markets. The president quote today, the Iranians, the terrorists, said they're no longer talking to us because Israel is attacking southern Lebanon, which is Hezbollah terrorists. Here's what the president said. I don't care if they're over, honestly, talking about the talks. I really don't care. I couldn't care less if they're over. They're over. If they're not, I think they took too much time. Frankly, I thought they started to get very boring. They were giving us what we needed, but I think they handled negotiations poorly. It took too long. Number one, he's not telling the truth. They've been telling him all along that nothing about nuclear, and also you're giving us billions, while the president says they want to make a deal every single day. So first the president comes out and says, I don't care if the talks are over. I don't care if the talks are over. And then what? I had a very productive call with Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, and there will be no troops going to Beirut, that's Lebanon, and any troops that are on their way have already been turned back. Likewise, through highly placed representatives, I had a very good call with Hezbollah, and they agree that all shooting will stop, that Israel will not attack them, and will not attack Israel. Oh, all of a sudden he cares. Do you know why? Oil was up $5 today. And when he changed his mind on the day, oil started, it was worse early and it came back down. But here's the problem. Listen carefully from somebody who knows, because the president obviously has his head in the sand. Hezbollah will never stand down. They have been lobbing missiles into Israel forever. And they're the only ones that have stopped the peace. As I have told you, when I was there in 2016, I got missiles lobbed over my head. I got pictures of the Iron Dome taking them out. And I asked the military, what are you doing about it? And he said, nothing. I'm like, what? They're lobbing missiles. Yeah, but we take them out. And only if it gets bad will we do something. I'm not so sure Hezbollah has agreed to anything. And again, as I've told you, I don't trust a word that comes out of any president's mouth. They're very good at not telling the truth, especially this one, especially Biden. So we'll see how it goes. Oil was up $5 today. Iran keeps coming out and saying, kiss mine. And the president keeps saying they want a deal. I'm so tired of him saying they want a deal for the last 3 months. And let me, before you get mad at me, I stand right by him. I want this to end. I want him to do great things. I want him to be successful. I have no animosity towards him. I am just a policy guy, and I want great things from our leaders, and I'm tired of the BS. I loathe the BS. Just tell the truth. He had the economic guys out this week. This guy Hassett. This guy can't tell the truth worth anything. So that's a little bit of that. But it didn't stop software today. The semis were off the highs today, but still up decently. Other areas not so great. Oil stocks bounced a little. Some of the metals mining bounced pretty good. There's some leadership there, not much. And just a lot of jello moving on the plate. Advanced declines were flat today. For every one up, one was down. Small and mid caps labored today. But who the hell knows what's next with this Iran thing? Aren't you tired of it? In case you also don't know, today starts hurricane season here in Florida. We'll see about this, but the Trump administration has gotten rid of 20% of all FEMA staff, 50% of all FEMA leadership positions, and 60% of FEMA's permanent regional administrators. Let's hope that's not meaningful. You know what FEMA is, the Federal Emergency Management, that basically hurricanes, tornadoes, and all kinds of whatever, they come in and do whatever they do. Of course, the president made them the enemy also. They don't know what they're doing. Anyway, don't be emailing me, okay? Have a great evening. Drive carefully. Again, I stand by him. When you get home, do like we do, quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Until tomorrow. Good night.